My name is Hannah. When I think about my childhood, I remember many happy days. My parents were kind and loving people. We did not have a lot of money, and we did not live in a big house, but we were happy together. My sister Olivia and I were very close. We played together every day. We made up games, rode our bikes, and explored the neighborhood. Sometimes we got into little bits of trouble, but nothing serious. Our parents would laugh and tell us that children needed to have adventures and learn about the world. Life felt safe and warm. But everything changed when I was 8 years old. One rainy evening, my parents were driving home from work. The roads were wet and slippery. Suddenly, a truck lost control and crashed into their car. My parents died in the accident. Olivia and I did not understand what had happened. We waited for our parents to come home. We thought maybe they were running late, but they never came back. A few hours later, our Aunt Margaret came to see us. She sat down beside us and looked very sad. "Your parents had a terrible accident," she said softly. "They are gone." I did not know what to say. I felt confused. I felt scared. Most of all, I felt lonely. In the days that followed, many adults made decisions about our future. Then Aunt Margaret told us something that changed everything. She said she would take Olivia to live with her. But she would not take me. Olivia was quiet and calm. She loved books and enjoyed spending time alone. I was different. I loved running, talking, laughing, and trying new things. I had lots of energy. Aunt Margaret said I was too difficult for her. "I'm sorry, Hannah," she told me. "I can't take care of you." I stared at her. I could not understand. Olivia and I were sisters. Why was she choosing one of us and not both? I wanted to ask so many questions, but no answers made sense. Soon after that, Olivia went to live with Aunt Margaret. I was sent to an orphanage. The orphanage felt cold and lonely. The hallways were quiet. The rooms smelled like cleaning products. The walls were plain and empty. Every night I missed my parents. I missed Olivia too. Sometimes I cried myself to sleep. I felt like nobody wanted me. I wondered if something was wrong with me. Maybe I talked too much. Maybe I played too much. Maybe I was not good enough. Those thoughts made me very sad. Then one day something wonderful happened. Some old friends of my parents heard about what had happened to me. Their names were Mr. and Mrs. Robert. They came to visit me. At first, I was nervous. I did not know why they were there. But when they spoke to me, they were kind and gentle. Mrs. Robert smiled warmly. "Hello, Hannah," she said. "Hello," I replied quietly. She sat beside me and asked about my favorite games, my favorite books, and the things I liked to do. For the first time in a long while, someone seemed interested in me. A few days later, Roberts came back. This time they had exciting news. "We would like you to come live with us," Mrs. Robert said. I blinked in surprise. "Really?" I asked. "Of course," Mr. Robert said with a smile. "Why?" I asked. Mrs. Robert gently held my hand. "Because we care about you," she said. "And because every child deserves a loving home." Tears filled my eyes. No one had said something so kind to me in a very long time. Soon, Roberts adopted me. I moved to a new city and started a new life. At first, everything felt strange. I had a new bedroom, a new school, new friends. But Roberts made me feel welcome from the very beginning. They treated me like their own daughter. They helped me with homework. They attended my soccer games. They celebrated my birthdays. When I was sad, they listened. When I succeeded, they cheered. Little by little, I began to feel safe again. For the first time since losing my parents, I felt loved. Even though my life was getting better, I still thought about Olivia. I wondered how she was doing. Did she miss me? Was she happy? Did she ever think about me? Years passed. I worked hard in school. Roberts always encouraged me. They believed I could do anything if I tried my best. One day, when I was older, I was helping clean the attic. While looking through some old boxes, I found a bundle of letters. The letters had been written by Aunt Margaret. At first, I was curious. Then I started reading. As I read the letters, my heart began to hurt. The letters explained why Margaret had chosen Olivia and not me. She wrote that Olivia fit better into her family. She described me as too energetic and too much like my parents. She thought I would be difficult to handle. Reading those words felt like reopening an old wound. I sat quietly for a long time. The next morning, Mrs. Robert noticed I seemed upset. "Hannah, are you okay?" she asked gently. I hesitated. Then I told her about the letters. Mr. Robert listened too. "The letters explained everything," I said quietly. "Margaret never wanted me because she thought I was too much." Mrs. Robert reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "Oh, Hannah," she said softly. "It hurt," I admitted. "I know," she replied. Mr. Robert looked directly at me. "Listen carefully," he said. "You are not too much." I looked at him. He continued. "You are kind, smart, caring, and full of life. Those are wonderful qualities." His words made tears fill my eyes again. Not sad tears this time. Happy tears. Mrs. Robert smiled. "We chose you because we loved who you are." For the first time, I truly believed it. As I grew older, I decided I wanted to help people. I knew what it felt like to be rejected. I knew what it felt like to be lonely. I wanted to make sure other people never felt alone. In college, I studied family relationships and acceptance. I worked very hard. Many nights I stayed up late reading and writing papers. My teachers were impressed with my work. For my final thesis, I wrote about how acceptance and love can change a person's life. The project was very successful. Soon, I was accepted into graduate school. Later, I became a social worker. Every day, I helped families solve problems and understand one another. I listened to children who felt alone. I helped parents communicate better. I encouraged families to support each other. Every time I helped someone, I felt proud. The pain from my childhood had become something useful. It helped me understand people. It helped me show kindness. Through all those years, Roberts remained by my side. They never stopped supporting me. Their love helped me become the person I wanted to be. Then one autumn afternoon, something unexpected happened. I was sitting in my office when my phone rang. The number was unfamiliar. "Hello, this is Hannah," I answered. A woman spoke on the other end. "Hello. My name is Nurse Carter. I work at Greenwood Care Facility." I listened carefully. "I'm calling about your Aunt Margaret," she said. My stomach tightened. I had not heard much about Margaret in years. "She has Alzheimer's disease," Nurse Carter explained. "Her condition has become much worse." I was silent for a moment. Then I asked, "Why are you calling me?" The nurse answered gently. "Before her memory became worse, she asked us to contact you if her health declined." I was surprised. The nurse continued. "Her family has not visited her for many months." I did not know what to think. Part of me felt sad. Part of me felt angry. Part of me felt nothing at all. The nurse asked if I would consider visiting Margaret. After the call ended, I sat quietly in my office. Old memories filled my mind. That evening, I told my husband Ethan everything. We sat on our porch watching the sunset. "They want me to visit Margaret," I said. Ethan listened carefully. Then he said, "Hannah, you don't owe her anything." I nodded. "I know," I replied. "But it's complicated." Ethan understood. "Whatever you decide," he said, "I will support you." The next day, I visited Mr. and Mrs. Robert. Even though I was an adult now, they were still the people I trusted most. After listening to my story, Mrs. Robert spoke first. "Hannah, it's okay to protect yourself." Mr. Robert nodded. "You don't have to carry responsibilities that belong to someone else." Their words made sense. Still, I felt unsure. So I decided to call Olivia. When she answered, we talked for a long time. Eventually, I asked the question that had been on my mind. "Why haven't you visited Margaret?" Olivia sighed. "Because I chose not to." I was surprised. "You did?" "Yes," she answered. "Living with her wasn't easy. Even though she chose me, she was controlling and difficult. When I left her house, I decided not to go back." I listened quietly. "Did you know she was sick?" I asked. "Yes." "And you still stayed away?" Olivia paused. Then she said, "Sometimes choosing peace is the healthiest thing a person can do." Her words stayed with me. For several days, I thought about everything. I thought about my childhood. I thought about Margaret. I thought about the orphanage. I thought about Roberts. Most of all, I thought about what was best for me. Finally, I made my decision. I called Nurse Carter. "Thank you for contacting me," I said kindly. "But after thinking carefully, I cannot visit Margaret." The nurse understood. "I respect your decision, Hannah." After we ended the call, I sat quietly. I felt a little sad, but I also felt relieved. For years, I had carried the pain of being rejected. Now I realized something important. I did not need Margaret's approval anymore. I did not need her to explain her choices. I did not need to return to painful memories. I could move forward. I could appreciate the people who truly loved me. The Roberts had chosen me. They had given me a home, a family, and a future. Their love had taught me what family really means. Family is not only about blood. Family is about kindness. Family is about support. Family is about people who stand beside you when life becomes difficult. As I looked at my life, I felt grateful. I had lost a lot when I was a child, but I had also found something beautiful. I found people who loved me exactly as I was. And because of that love, I learned an important lesson. Being different does not make you less valuable. Being energetic does not make you too much. Sometimes the very things that others reject are the things that make you special. And sometimes being exactly who you are is more than enough. Ethan wrapped his arms around me and held me close. His support never changed. He was always there for me when I needed him. "You made the right choice, Hannah," he said in a gentle voice. I leaned against him and felt safe. Choosing to move forward in my own way had been one of the hardest things I had ever done. At the same time, it made me feel free. For the first time in a long while, I felt like my life truly belonged to me. A few days later, I met Olivia at a small, cozy cafe. We had picked the place because it was quiet and comfortable. As I sat across from her, many feelings swirled inside me. I felt nervous because we had not spent much time together for years. I felt excited because I wanted us to be close again. Most of all, I felt hopeful. It had been a very long time since we had sat together as sisters and talked honestly. We each took a sip of our coffee. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then Olivia smiled softly. "I've missed this, Hannah," she said. "I've missed you." Her words touched my heart. "I've missed you too," I replied. The pain of being apart seemed a little smaller after hearing that. "I'm sorry we let so much time pass," I said quietly. Olivia nodded. "We were both dealing with difficult things," she answered. "But I'm glad we're here now." I smiled back at her. It felt good to hear those words. Soon our conversation turned to Aunt Margaret. I paused before speaking. "I heard about Margaret's condition," I said. "That must have been hard to hear." Olivia looked down at her cup for a moment. "Yes," she said. "It brought back a lot of old memories. But it also made me realize something important." I listened carefully. "Staying away from her was something I needed to do," Olivia continued. "She wanted me to become someone I wasn't. She tried to shape me into the person she wanted. When I couldn't be that person, it hurt me." I understood exactly what she meant. "I know how that feels," I said. "She treated me differently, but it still hurt. She thought I was too much like Mom and Dad. She said I was too energetic and too lively." Olivia sighed. "It's strange, isn't it?" she said. "She spent so much time trying to change us. In the end, she pushed everyone away." I nodded slowly. "Yeah," I said. "And I've decided not to visit her." Olivia looked at me with kindness. "That's okay. It wasn't an easy decision," I explained. "Part of me felt guilty. But I know it's what I need to do. I need to protect my peace and happiness." Olivia reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "Hannah, I support your decision," she said. "We both need to do what's best for ourselves. We can't spend our lives doing things just because other people expect us to." Hearing those words made me feel lighter. The conversation continued for hours. We talked about our childhood. We shared happy memories and sad ones. Sometimes we laughed. Sometimes we became quiet as we remembered difficult moments. The more we talked, the more we understood each other. For years, we had carried pain inside us. Now we were finally speaking about it openly. It felt like a heavy weight was slowly being lifted from our shoulders. We talked about how Margaret had tried to control so many parts of our lives. We talked about how we had struggled to find our own paths. Most importantly, we talked about how we had survived and grown stronger. When it was finally time to leave, Olivia smiled warmly. "We have each other, Hannah," she said. I smiled back. "Yes, we do. Let's never let anyone come between us again." "Agreed," I said. Olivia laughed. "It's us against the world." We hugged each other tightly before saying goodbye. As I walked to my car, I felt happier than I had in years. I wasn't carrying the burden alone anymore. My sister and I had found our way back to each other. On the drive home, I thought about everything that had happened. Margaret had caused pain in our lives. There was no changing that. But we had learned important lessons from those experiences. We had become stronger. Choosing to stay away from Margaret was not about revenge. It was not about anger. It was about protecting ourselves and building healthy lives. That evening, I told Ethan everything that had happened. He listened carefully, just as he always did. When I finished speaking, he smiled. "I'm proud of you," he said. His support meant so much to me. For a long time, I had felt alone. Now I had Ethan beside me and Olivia back in my life. Together, they helped me see how far I had come. The months passed and life slowly became brighter. Then one cold morning, everything changed again. My phone rang early. It was Olivia. The moment I heard her voice, I knew something had happened. "It's over, Hannah," she said softly. "Margaret is gone." For a few moments, I couldn't speak. Many emotions rushed through me. Part of me felt sad. Part of me felt relieved. And another part of me simply felt tired. "Are you okay?" I asked. Olivia took a deep breath. "I think so," she answered. "It's strange. I never thought I would feel relief when hearing news like this." "I understand," I said. "We've been carrying this pain for a very long time." Olivia agreed. After talking for a while, we decided to attend the funeral together. We weren't going because we felt close to Margaret. We were going because we needed closure. We needed a chance to say goodbye to the past. The funeral was small. Only a few people attended. As we stood near the grave, everything felt quiet. The pastor spoke about Margaret's life. His words were respectful, but there were no stories filled with love and warmth. The service felt lonely. As it came to an end, Olivia gently squeezed my hand. I squeezed hers back. Neither of us said anything. Words were not needed. We both understood what this moment meant. We were saying goodbye. Not only to Margaret, but also to the painful shadow she had left over our lives. When we walked away from the cemetery, I felt something inside me change. A chapter that had stayed open for years was finally closing. For the first time in a very long time, I felt free. In the weeks that followed, life brought something wonderful. My wedding day arrived. The morning was filled with excitement. The bridal suite buzzed with laughter and happy conversations. My bridesmaids moved around the room, helping me get ready. Everyone seemed excited. Olivia stood beside me, smiling. She looked beautiful and confident. More importantly, she looked happy. She was no longer just my sister. She had become my best friend. "You look beautiful, Hannah," she whispered as she carefully adjusted my veil. I smiled. "Thank you," I said. "I couldn't have done this without you." Olivia's eyes filled with emotion. "We got through everything together," she said. I nodded. Yes, we did. When it was finally time for the ceremony, my heart raced with excitement. The church was filled with family and friends. Every person there represented love, support, and friendship. At the front stood Ethan. The moment I saw him, I smiled. His eyes were shining with emotion. As I walked down the aisle, I felt happier than ever before. When I reached him, he gently took my hands. The ceremony was beautiful. We exchanged vows and promised to build a future based on love, honesty, trust, and respect. As we spoke those promises, I felt the weight of the past disappear. We were stepping into a new chapter together, a chapter filled with hope. After the ceremony came the celebration. The reception was full of music, dancing, laughter, and joy. People smiled, talked, and shared stories. The room felt warm and alive. One of the most special moments came when Olivia stood up to give a toast. The room grew quiet. Olivia spoke about family, healing, forgiveness, and second chances. She spoke about our journey as sisters. Many guests wiped tears from their eyes. Even I struggled to hold back tears. Her words reminded everyone how powerful love and family could be. The evening passed quickly. Before long, the celebration began to wind down. Ethan and I stepped outside for a few moments alone. The night sky stretched above us. Thousands of stars sparkled brightly. The cool air felt peaceful. I rested my head against Ethan's shoulder. "We did it," I said softly. He smiled. "Yes, we did." He kissed the top of my head. "Here's to new beginnings." I smiled. "To love. And to our future together," he added. We stood there quietly beneath the stars. For years I had carried pain, sadness, and difficult memories. Now those feelings no longer control my life. The future stretched out before us like a beautiful road waiting to be traveled. The air no longer felt heavy with loss. Instead, it felt light with hope. A new life was beginning. And for the first time, I was ready to welcome it with an open heart.
अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ मैं। ये जो दिन सहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं। तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा बेसर्द लगता है। दिल का हर एक कोना अब बहुत ही दूर भरता है। अंधेरी दीवारों में खुद को ढूंढता हूँ मैं। ये जो दिन सुहाने थे उन्हीं को सोचता हूँ मैं। तुम्हारे बिन ये मौसम भी बड़ा सर्द लगता है। दिल का हर एक कोना बहुत ही दर्द भरता है। मेरे साए भी मुझसे अब जुदा होने को कहते हैं। तुझे खोने की राहों में ये आंसू बहने लगते हैं। कहाँ जाऊँ कहाँ ढूंढूं मेरा वो साजो सामा तो मेरी हर एक तमन्ना तू मेरी रूह का मका तू। लकीरों में नहीं लिखा जो तुमने ख्वाब देखा था। वफा की इस कहानी में फकत एक गम ही लिखा था। सितारों से भी पूछता है पता तेरा कहाँ होगा। खामोश है दुनिया, कहाँ मेरा जहाँ होगा। बस एक बार मुड़ के देख ले मेरी बेबसी की सूरत। मुझे है आज भी तेरी वफा की सख्त जरूरत। साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर। साए मेरे तन्हा सफर बस रह गया दर्द का असर, दर्द का असर।